Nigerian Medical Association was made known with an ultimatum to the federal government in September 2013, when the association highlighted its demands, which include the reversal of fundamental errors in the existing salary structure for doctors, funding of the healthcare sector, expansion of the universal health coverage for all Nigerians, and addressing the selective skipping of paramedics from level 10 to 12 and consultancy appellate which has been granted to some paramedics.
All the policies that are mimical, change it. The one you cannot change, let there be a circular that, okay, if some people are skipping, let doctors who skip. This consultant appellate is causing confusion with regards to patient management. Therefore, for now, let us stop it. While we go with international best practice. You see consultant this, consultant that, consultant bookkeeper, consultant record. It's confusing to the patient. And patient then, at the end of the day, will not know. At the end of the day, if there's a problem to the patient, it's the doctor that will be blamed.
Although the doctors have called off the 5-day warning strike, these demands are not going down well with other healthcare professionals, especially the Pharmaceutical Society of Nigeria, which sees no reason why the consultancy status of any other healthcare professional should worry the doctors.
Consultancy status in pharmacy is a global norm. From the UK, the US, Canada, Australia, everywhere where pharmacists are appointed consultants. Radiographers are appointed consultants everywhere. But let's even come back home. The reality today is that there are valid orders of courts from the Nigerian Industrial Court that has given specific orders that the status quo ante be maintained with respect to health professionals who have been appointed consultants or who the bureaucracy has given approvals to. Again, there is a subsisting court order that pharmacists and other health professionals be allowed to skip Con S10. I think it is contemptuous of that court order. A big insult to our intelligence for the NMA to list that as a conditionality for its members to go back to.
The situation seems now more complex as the Joint Health Sector Union's 15-day ultimatum to the federal government to implement the agreement reached with it in August 2013 expires on December 28. One of the issues at stake is the implementation of the Industrial Quotes Order for the skipping of Consolidated Health Salary Structure, CONHES 10.
I have information now, very reliably, that JOESU is planning, has sent an ultimatum to government that if it dares truncates the spirit of various agreements reached with it, sometimes in August, then it would embark on mother of all strikes. We will mobilize the entire fabric of pharmacists in both the public and private sector to be part of that JOESU strike.
The unending rivalry in the health sector is taking a disturbing turn as the gladiators take turns to get the government to do their biddings. All eyes are on the federal government to do that which is lawful and of international best practices. Yomi Otaigbe reporting for Channels Television News.
Well, Olumide Akintayo joins us this morning. He's the president of Pharmaceutical Society of Nigeria. Thank you for coming on this morning.
Well, good morning, guys, and Merry Christmas.
Yeah, I wish you same too. We hope it ends up like that for NMA and Pharmaceutical Society of Nigeria members as well. But having listened to some of what you've raised there, I mean, it's clear that health workers seem to be at daggers drawn, this time with each other. Because yes, we do know that NMA went on strike, suspending their strike. They've given certain conditions that, look, if the government doesn't address some of these matters, which was highlighted there, they will come back in January. And pharmacists think otherwise, including health workers. What's the bone of contention?
Well, let me start by positing that, ordinarily, we would not have made it our business. I mean, people are used to doctors going on strike almost on a perennial basis in Nigeria. So it's no longer news when they say they're on strike. But when you begin to come up with conditioned precedents, like you're not going to work because pharmacists and some other cadres of health workers are going to be designated consultants, or because of CONHES 10, skipping of CONHES 10, you're not going to go to work, then it calls for concerns. Look, this is about rational logic. And I continue to say we will not stand by and continue to encourage or facilitate people who believe in congressional hypocrisy, people who stand on hypocritical platitudes. The biggest beneficiary of skipping in the entire public service in this country are medical doctors. Let me explain to you. I graduated about 30 years ago. When I graduated as a pharmacist, pharmacists and doctors started life on grade level 8 in the public service in Nigeria because we have to go through a compulsory 1-year internship program. After youth service, pharmacists and doctors proceed to grade level 9. Olikoye Ransom Kuti, late Olikoye Ransom Kuti in his days, changed the status quo with the unfortunate medical salary scale, MSS, in the early 90s. Now Nigeria has not witnessed industrial harmony since then, because that was what actually triggered all the clarion call for specialized skills by different cadres of workers. But let me get back to the subject matter. Today, the status quo is that doctors enter the civil service on the equivalent of grade level 10 after training for house job and move to grade level 12 after youth service. Other average university graduates start on grade level 8 after youth service. That's a whole difference of 4 different steps. It will take any other university graduate almost 10 years before it gets to grade level 12 after youth service. Yeah, you could confirm these things.
But we can appreciate, the reason for that.
What is the reason? You cannot justify that. Let me tell you this. People think of things like duration of training and all of that.
Yes.
If a man, I trained, pharmacists trained for 6 years now because there's a new program. But let me even narrow it to other people who train for 4 years. If you train for 4 years and another person trains for 6 years, it's just a difference of 2 years. Would you now say because of 2 years, another professional enjoys an advantage of about 10 years? Does that depict fairness?
No,
or justice?
No, what I mean is, if you take a look at the sensitive nature of what it is they do, first of all, that's one. If you look at the rigors, we all know that it's not everybody who goes to read medicine for obvious reasons. You have to be qualified in certain things for you to be able to read medicine. Usually the brightest and best are the people who go to medical school. This is not with, I'm a journalist.
I'm not going to get into popularity contest.
Let us appreciate and put into, let's be fair in our assessment of what the medical profession is. It's definitely one that carries with it plenty of prestige. I'm simply saying that if there is some bias towards them in that particular respect, is it out of place?
Completely out of place. Let's speak with some level of information, and I'm informing you. You just go and find out. It is exactly the same condition precedent that you need to get into a medical school, that you need to get into a pharmacy school. I trained at the University of Ife. Find out. What was called University of Ife is now Obafemi Awolowo University. In the entire university system there, pharmacy has the highest cutoff mark traditionally. Go find out. When I gained admission into the university, I scored 297. I could read any course. I was not even one of the best 10 that year. I was not on the first 20. The cutoff mark that year was 277. The highest person in my faculty that year scored 313. For A-levels, it takes an average of 12 grade points, average of Bs in physics, chemistry, biology to read pharmacy. So these things are not anything clairvoyant to those of us in that sector. And these are the issues. But like I said, if you are on grade level 12, and I'm not even saying they should not give medical doctors that. All I'm saying is that if you are a beneficiary of a process, it amounts to grave injustice to deny other people that. That's the very first thing. Now, when you look, I praised that story that was shown there. I sent you documents to show you that it's a global norm to have pharmacists as consultants everywhere, from the US, Australia, Canada, everywhere. Why? We say as pharmacists that we are experts on drugs. There is nowhere that you justify that expertise on the basis of a first degree. You are journalists, they are media consultants, I'm aware. They are consultants in engineering, they are consultants in architecture, all they are legal consultants, all high-profile professionals have consultants. So you insult my intelligence. And I say, I submit that with the
The thing is, the concern or the point they raised is that having too many consultants tends to confuse the patient.
What patient? What is this confusion? What is the latitude of the influence of these cadres of consultants? Why is it not causing confusion in other climes? Why is it going to cause confusion in Nigeria? Look, let's put these things the way they are. People have embarked on an unnecessary ego trip, and you owe a responsibility to begin to say those things to people in high places so that we can redress these problems. I'm not interested in contending for space with anybody. There are things other people would, the training of a medical doctor, and I say that, I make bold to say that, places him in a unique position to drive the clinical process in the hospital. Nobody, I say it with a sense of responsibility, can take it away from the doctor. If you are sick, you will always rely on the specialized skills of a doctor. So, this is not about anybody contending space with other people. It is only, these things are designed, they're just put in place so that patient output can get better. It happens in other places. They work without friction. So why can't we do it?
All right, comment on this before my colleagues come in here.
Yeah.
Part of the statement credited to the NMA president is, it says the term consultant as used in the healthcare system is not an appellation for collecting allowances, as Joe Jesus seemed to believe. We'll come to that in a moment, the one on the screen, but respond to this one first.
I can tell you that it takes a process too before you can become a consultant in any of these cadres. I was one of the pioneer students of the West African Postgraduate College of Pharmacists. It takes a minimum of 5 years to go through that program, after a B.Pharm or PharmD program of 5 or 6 years. So it takes a process. That program has today been approved by the National Council on Establishment. So government in its wisdom won't just designate people as consultants. You must run through a process. It must be approved by the bureaucracy. And what I'm saying is that, look, and then what is most important here is that, like I said, we have valid court orders. The national